Well, people aren't going to give up their existing lifestyles, are they? You don't expect them to do that, do you? So how do you expect this is going to suddenly transform everyone and transform the world?
A very, very important difference between religions and the new transformed way of living is that everyone does take up this new transformed way of living. What did the chorus in Beethoven's Ninth Symphony proclaim? Your magic reunites, that is, the reconciling understanding reunites. All men become brothers, all good, all bad, be embraced millions, this kiss for the whole world. That means everyone. To explain why the new transformed way of living that understanding the human condition makes possible is a kiss for the whole world, we need to consider what the role of religion has been. Now, as humanity's great upsetting battle to find knowledge, ultimately understanding of the human condition, progressed, we humans unavoidably became more and more angry, egocentric and alienated. Now religions developed when we humans became so upset we could no longer afford to continue to stay living in a distressed and destructive, upset knowledge-finding state, and instead had to defer to and live through our support of the sound words and life of a great prophet. But stopping thinking for ourselves and just obeying and living by the words of a prophet meant abandoning participating in humanity's heroic search for knowledge, which still had to carry on if liberating understanding the human condition was going to be found. I mean, remember that Adam Stork could abandon his upsetting pursuit of knowledge any time he chose by flying back on course. But if he did, he would not be participating in that heroic search for knowledge. What is so different about this new transformed way of living is that you're not giving up the upsetting battle to find knowledge when you abandon living through your upset, angry, egocentric and alienated self, because that battle has been won. Understanding of the human condition has been found. While religions have been incredibly helpful by giving upset humans an effective way to abandon living out their upsets, I'll explain later how religions have saved the human race. Some people, in fact, actually, even religious people to varying degrees, had to continue with the upsetting battle to find knowledge. Otherwise, the ultimate knowledge we needed to find, that is the liberating understanding of the human condition, would never have been found. In the new transformed world, however, everyone permanently moves on from the battle and takes up the transformed way of living, because once the battle is won, as it now is, there's no longer any need or justification to continue it. We have won the match. It's over. Now everyone heads off the field and goes to the showers. To help illustrate this critical difference between religion and this new transformed way of living, we can look at the Simpsons cartoon series. The character Ned Flanders is a Christian, someone who's deferred to and lives through Christ. His neighbour Homer Simpson, on the other hand, is still living out the corrupting battle to find the knowledge that would defeat the implication that we humans are fundamentally bad. That knowledge being the explanation of the human condition. In one of the episodes, I know Ned lends Homer his lawnmower, which Homer wrecks without remorse. Rather than getting angry or defensive, however, Ned simply accepts Homer's behaviour. Ned is the goody-goody Christian, while Homer is one upset Adam Stork, living out the battle to find knowledge to the full. He's massively angry, egocentric and alienated. But if Homer could explain any situation, he would say to Ned, now listen, Ned, you love Christ and he loves you, and you're a goody-goody and I'm one upset, corrupted, dysfunctional dude. But Ned, I'm still out there doing it. I'm still participating in humanity's heroic, upsetting battle to find knowledge. So I'm a legend and you're a wimp. If, however, we imagine that Ned has taken up the new transformed way of living, then Homer has no grounds to criticise him. Homer has no argument against Ned when Ned takes up the support of this transformed way of living, because with the upsetting battle to find knowledge, ultimately understanding the human condition found, there's no longer any reason to keep living out the battle. In this scenario, the tables are turned. Ned would be in the position to criticise Homer for continuing a battle that's now over. We're rational creatures, so when all the rationale, all the logic says there's only one response we can make, namely letting go of our angry, egocentric and alienated way of living and taking up the transformed way of living, then that's the response the human race will take. I know there'll be a lot of shock that this dreamed of breakthrough in the human journey of the liberation of the human race has finally happened. And there'll also be a certain amount of procrastination because everyone's so habituated to their whole power, fame, fortune and glory-seeking lifestyle. But all the logic and thus power lies with the new transformed way of living. There's absolutely no need or justification for imposed force, for yet another conflict-filled revolution to introduce this new transformed way of living. However, so powerful is the logic for the change to the transformed state that before long people still living in the old embattled have to prove your worth way of living will feel like people caught wearing last year's fashions. There is such a stark difference between the free, expansive, enthralled, transformed life and the old embattled, egocentric existence where your mind is narrowly focused and preoccupied, working all the angles every second of every day, defensively seeking validation and reinforcement, a win. That those living in the old way will seem like different species compared to the new, expansive, all-exciting, free, transformed state. Those still stuck in the old embattled paradigm will be like sad dead people. The old way is so clearly obsolete now that when this new way of living catches on, it will sweep the world. In fact, because this revolution in human life is logic-driven, the effect of the change it will produce in people living selflessly for the greater good rather than from themselves will be truly dramatic and quick. I should clarify here that upset humans were selflessly working for the greater good by searching for knowledge. However, they were also selfishly self-preoccupied, seeking power, fame, fortune and glory as their only means of achieving self-validation while the search went on. And it's this selfish self-preoccupation that goes when we adopt the transformed state. So it's the effect of this change in people living for the greater good in the sense of not being selfishly self-preoccupied that will produce such a dramatic change in the world. Indeed, its healing effect upon the world will overall be so quick and complete, it will seem instant. As if one day the human race was living in a state of immense turmoil, confusion and despair from all the anger and egocentricity and alienation in humans, and then the next it's all over, as though an entirely new peaceful world emerged overnight. As the Lord's Prayer anticipated, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. The cooperative, loving, godly kingdom appears. It's all over. The human race is free. And having everyone together at last, unified in their mission to heal the human race and repair the world, will bring about such a feeling of fellowship that everyone will be completely overjoyed. The human race is at last empowered to end all the unspeakable and unbearable suffering in the world. We are out of here. We're gone. We're leaving the old, upset, embattled, dead world behind forever. Let's go is the catch cry of this human condition ameliorated, transformed new world. Again, as Bono anticipated, what did he say? I've conquered my past. The future is here at last. I stand at the entrance to a new world I can see. The ruins to the right of me will soon have lost sight of me. As I've said in every book and major document I've ever written, soon, from one end of the horizon to the other, an army and its millions will appear to do battle with human suffering, and its weapon will be understanding and its outcome world reparation. Now, at this point, I might think include more anticipations of this time of the human race's fabulously exciting, peaceful exodus from the horror of the human condition. Firstly, from the Australian rock band Hunters and Collectors song Holy Grail. Woke up this morning from the strangest dream. I was in the biggest army the world had ever seen. We were marching as one, started out seeking fortune and glory. We were so far from home, nothing left to plunder when we stumbled on the Holy Grail. In the Bible, the prophet Joel expressed the exact same anticipation. Like dawn spreading across the mountains, a large and mighty army comes, such as never was of old, nor ever will be in ages to come. Before them the land is like the Garden of Eden, behind them a desert waste. Nothing escapes them. They all march in line, not swerving from their course. They do not jostle each other. And in You Too, So I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, Bono sings, I believe in the kingdom come when all the colours will bleed into one. And in Where the Streets Have No Name, he sings, we're beaten and blown by the wind, trampled in dust, but I'll show you a place high on a desert plain where the streets have no name. That is, where humans no longer have to egocentrically own and name everything. Then there will be no toil or sorrow. Then there will be no time of pain. And similarly in When Love Comes to Town, I was a sailor, I was lost at sea, I was under the waves, but I did what I did before love came to town. Since the ultimate form of love is truth, we can read truth to the word love. I've seen love, that is truth, conquer the great divide. Yeah, conquer the great divide between good and evil, yin and yang, idealism and realism, spiritualism and materialism, young and old, women and men, blacks and whites, religion and science, the left wing and the right wing, socialism and capitalism, country and city, and all the other manifestations of the poles of life and under the duress of the human condition. When love comes to town, I'm going to jump that train. When the liberating, transforming truth about the human condition finally arrives, I'm out of here, leaving the old dead world behind forever, as will be everyone else, because, as Cat Stevens similarly anticipated, out on the edge of darkness there rides a peace train that has at last arrived to take us home again.